If these 5 stories don't make you cry, pray, or rethink your life, nothing will. True stories, unfiltered faith. This is the countdown you weren't ready for. Number 5. Return to the hiding place. Picture yourself watching your best friends executed by Nazis, and you can't scream, you can't run, you can only write it down in your diary, because the truth must outlive the horror. That's how Return to the Hiding Place begins. It doesn't open with banners or battlefield glory, just the raw, paralyzing question. What would you do if your faith made you a fugitive? In Hitler's Europe? This is the untold side of the hiding place. Corrie ten Boom's story, yes, but told this time through the eyes of Hans Poli, a brilliant physics student who refused to join the Nazi party. Forced into hiding, Hans becomes the first guest in the Ten Boom house, and from there, history ignites. He joins a ragtag, holy underground, a teenage army of Dutch students risking everything to rescue Jews, orphans, and anyone the Nazis marked for annihilation. They forge documents in candlelit basements. They smuggle babies out through windmills. They lie to save lives, and ask God's forgiveness later. Jesus once said, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." In Return to the Hiding Place, that verse isn't printed. It's lived. There's a moment, a bone-chilling one, where a Nazi officer brags about turning a little Jewish boy's skin into a lampshade. The film doesn't show the gore. It doesn't need to. The horror seeps through your bones anyway, but so does the light. This is a war film, yes, but it's also a love story. Not of romance, but of conviction. Young people, untrained, outgunned, but unshakably sure that they were not living in the kingdom of Hitler, but in the kingdom of Christ. Return to the Hiding Place is not just about saving lives, it's about losing yours for something eternal. Number 4. The Kochville Miracle. May 16, 1986. A sleepy town, an elementary school, and a bomb. 2 armed adults walk into a classroom in Kochville, Wyoming, dragging behind them a shopping cart packed with gasoline, wiring, blasting caps, and enough power to kill every child and teacher in that building. 136 students, 18 adults, 1 insane plan, 1 dead man switch, and yet, not a single hostage dies. The Kochville Miracle is a true story so terrifying, so incomprehensible, that even the police couldn't explain it. So the kids did. One by one, after the smoke had cleared, they spoke. About angels, about a wall of light, about an unseen hand holding back the fire. Some named the faces they saw, relatives they'd never met. One boy pointed to a photo and said, "That's her. She told me the bomb would go off, but we'd be okay." Before the miracle, there was madness. David Young, ex-town marshal turned would-be messiah, believed he could blow up a school and resurrect himself into a better world. His wife Doris stood by him. Their plan: hold the school for ransom, detonate the bomb, die, be reborn as gods. What actually happened was divine, just not the way they thought. The film follows Ron Hartley, a local cop and father of 2 kids trapped inside that classroom. He'd seen too much darkness to believe in God anymore. But what unfolds during that hour, and what follows, brings him to his knees. The bomb goes off, but not like it should. Somehow the fire pushes up, not out. Somehow the shrapnel misses everyone. Somehow, children are guided to windows, teachers form a chain, and a burning woman, Doris, stumbles, falls, and is shot by her own husband. David takes his own life moments later. 2 deaths, 0 hostages lost. What follows is a search for truth. And in that search, Ron hears the testimonies, sees the photos, checks the evidence, wires that were cut without tools, alarms that triggered themselves, survivors who shouldn't be here, still breathing. In the middle of evil, heaven stepped in. Some say it was chance, but those who were there, especially the children, saw something else. And if they're right, then maybe miracles don't just happen in the Bible. Maybe they still walk into classrooms and say, "Not today." Number 3. I Am Not Ashamed. She never imagined her journal would be read by millions. She just wanted to live a life that mattered, to be kind, to be bold, to be real. Her name was Rachel Joy Scott, and when her moment came, she didn't flinch. I Am Not Ashamed is the story of a transformation, a teenage girl who wasn't born courageous, but became it, one hard decision at a time. At first glance, Rachel is just like any other high school student. She's trying to fit in, navigate drama, fall in love, keep her faith without losing her friends. She messes up, drinks at parties, gets her heart broken, lets the wrong people into her life. But somewhere in all of that noise, she hears God's voice whispering, "Come back to me." And she does. She starts praying again, writing again, loving the outcasts and the overlooked. She befriends a homeless kid named Nate. She forgives people who hurt her. She stands up and speaks out, even when it's awkward, even when it costs her. In one unforgettable scene, she tells her classmates, "I'm not trying to be weird or convert anybody. I just want to be real. Jesus gave his life for me, and I will give my life to him." She has no idea those words will become prophecy. Because while Rachel is living out compassion, two boys in the shadows are fueling a storm. They hate the world. They hate God. And on April 20th, 1999, they bring guns and bombs to school, determined to end lives and make a statement. Rachel's kindness didn't stop them, but it stood in defiance of them. Shot outside the school, bleeding, unable to run, Rachel is pulled up by the hair. One of the killers asks, "Do you still believe in God?" And she says it. "You know I do." She died that day, but her story didn't. Her journals, her sketches, even a childlike drawing of hands saying she'd touch millions, all of it came true. I Am Not Ashamed is about choosing faith when fear is louder. It's about a girl who found her voice and used it for Jesus, no matter the cost. Number 2, End of the Spear. The jungle doesn't forget. It remembers the blood, the spears, the silence, but it also remembers a voice, calm, unarmed, and unshakable, saying, "We can't shoot them. They're not ready for heaven. We are." That was Nate Saint, pilot, missionary, and father. And those were his last words to his young son before stepping onto a sandbar in Ecuador's Amazon basin, never to return. End of the Spear is the brutal, breathtaking true story of what happened next. The Wyodani tribe was one of the most violent groups on Earth. By the 1950s, they were wiping themselves out with revenge killings. Nearly every man was dead by age 30. No one dared go near them, not even the Ecuadorian government, except 5 men, 5 missionaries who believed that God's love could reach even the hardest hearts. They didn't come with bullets, they came with gifts, lowered from a plane in a bucket, one trinket at a time, and after weeks of cautious hope, they landed, face to face with the tribe. 5 days later, their bodies floated in the river, speared and hacked. But that was only the beginning. The film unfolds through the eyes of Steve Saint, Nate's son, and Mintayani, the warrior who killed him. And what starts as a story of martyrdom becomes something no one saw coming: redemption. The very man who spilled Nate's blood becomes the one who raises Steve like his own son. Mintayani breaks his spears. He walks away from vengeance. He chooses peace, a decision that gets him mocked, shamed, nearly outcast. But he doesn't bend, because he saw something that day. He saw a man who came to help and died without lifting a weapon. And when he learned about Jesus, the Son of God who also was speared but did not spear back, it all made sense. Eventually, Steve returns to the jungle, to the place where his father died, to the man who took his life. And there, instead of seeking revenge, he forgives him. This is a movie about sons and fathers, murderers and mercy. It's about a tribe lost in blood, finding a better trail. Some stories make you cry. This one might just change you. And finally, our number 1 pick. Sabina, tortured for Christ, the Nazi years. She should have hated them. They murdered her family, burned down her world, sent her to prison, and made her dig her own grave. But instead, she offered them tea. That's not a metaphor. That's Sabina. The true story of a woman who looked evil in the eye and said, "I forgive you, because I've been forgiven first." Before she was a Christian, Sabina Wurmbrand was a hard-partying atheist, laughing her way through life in 1930s Romania. She was brilliant, fearless, and proudly godless. So was Richard, the man who'd become her husband. 2 firebrands, flirting at the edge of the abyss. Then came Jesus, and everything changed. They met Christ in the middle of war. Sabina and Richard gave up everything, privilege, safety, their future, to follow him. And when the Nazis came, they didn't run. They resisted with love. Sabina risked her life to hide Nazi soldiers from the communists at the end of the war, the very same soldiers whose regime had exterminated her family. Why? Because they didn't know what they were doing. Because Jesus said, "Love your enemies." And because grace always costs something. Told through haunting flashbacks and laced with moments of unbearable tension, the film doesn't sanitize her story. It shows the doubt, the pain, the near suicide, the fire of forgiveness forged in unspeakable darkness. Richard was imprisoned for 14 years. Sabina was locked away and forced into labor camps, but their faith only grew. Together, they founded the Voice of the Martyrs, a global ministry still serving persecuted Christians today. This movie is a call to war, not against people, but against hate. It's about how one woman, once an atheist, once broken, became a symbol of defiant love in the face of genocide. And the opening scene says it all. A group of Nazi soldiers flee through the snow, terrified, hunted, and there, standing in their path, is Sabina, a Jewish Christian, a woman they would have annihilated just months before. And what does she do? She hides them, feeds them, and when they ask why, she tells them her story. This is the gospel with dirt under its nails, bloody, beautiful, real. Sabina's life embodied Christ, and that's why this is our #1 movie. We are sure you will like it. You've just seen 5 true stories of radical faith. Now tell us, which one hit you hardest? Drop your favorite in the comments, or suggest a powerful Christian film we missed. And don't forget to subscribe. Want more? Watch this one next. Jesus Movies Ranked. Top 5 Christian movies that will shake your soul. It's the perfect follow-up. Emotional, unforgettable, and filled with spiritual fire. Are you in?